It's honestly kinda crazy how, as the sun sets for one meta Vegeta clan character, another one quickly takes his place. Hey, Grimmy here, and long time no see. And today I want to address this insane meta-shifting character, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, a character more deserving of an Ultra than I think any GT character, especially considering how little representation he has in the game thus far. And honestly, I think he's next in line for one of the best units in the game, if not the best. Let's just jump right into it. How is Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, so good? For starters, I think the first thing that I would like to take note of is his type neutrality. If we take a look at the character's abilities here, just quickly in the Dragon Ball Legends database here, we can see that he has several means of gaining access to type neutrality. If we look for more, we can see how he also gets it on his switch attack, which is obviously a new gimmick, and one that's worth talking about later down the line in this video. And not to mention the fact that he also gets it on his ult. If you enter the battlefield with Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, while your unique gauge is full and you're switching over to release type, well, that's optimal time for you to pop your ult because you're going to get type neutral on there as well. And again, this isn't uncancelable, which is important here, because obviously buff cancel is like a more prominent thing as we move forward with the meta. So, I mean, the chances are is that if you don't use any special moves or ults prior to using this particular ult from Vegeta, well, you're probably going to be held back in terms of this effect not actually activating, which can definitely be a drag if you're actually going up against a blue unit. But type neutrality isn't all there is to Vegeta's kit, and that's not the only thing that's making him meta. Endurance plus buff cancel. I think nowadays, like, when we're talking about Ultra characters, Endurance plus buff cancel has become a bare minimum. It's honestly kind of expected at this point, but with Vegeta specifically, I feel like he's an offensive character. He reminds me a lot of Kaioken Goku, the LF version from the 7th anniversary. And the biggest difference between Vegeta and Goku is that survivability gimmick. Kaioken Goku doesn't have any, while Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta has a 50% heal on his endurance on top of having buff cancel. When the enemy activates their special move, ult, awakened arts, or rising rush, which encapsulates, I think, a lot of attacks, it's still a powerful combination here, endurance plus buff cancel, and I think it's more than enough if you want to make a character who is not only offensively strong, but also has some sort of defensive safety net that they can roll back on whenever they need to. And this is something we see with full power Frieza as well. And so, while Vegeta doesn't necessarily have an auto counter, any kind of interesting defensive gimmicks that stop enemy attacks, disrupt them altogether, Vegeta does have that additional safety net that makes a big difference when you're an offensive-leaning character and one who doesn't necessarily have the best defensive stats, because that's not what you're built for. And that's another thing when we're talking about Vegeta as an offensive character. Endurance plus buff cancel is a brilliant defensive gimmick. But we have to remember what makes Vegeta such a prominent and unique offensive character. The switch attack. This is honestly a no-brainer. This new gimmick, I think, is honestly a pretty creative way of expanding on the usual way we try to sustain combos by switching out characters into a new one. And you can use it with any card, which is insane, other than an ult. But, you know, I mean, that's fair, right? Not to mention that he gets a majority of his effects on entry, right? From cover null to cards, key, and health. So this is kind of working all in conjunction with one another, and not to mention the fact that he also decreases the allies' subcounts. And this just allows him to buy time a lot easier, work around his time type unique gauge, which obviously still charges even when he's out of the battlefield. I think this is a brilliant effect, and one that really supports him because Vegeta is obviously an offensive character, first and foremost in terms of his design, so this particular gimmick supports him really well. And if we take a look at the perspective of the devs, right, on the Dragon Ball Legends official website, we can see how the switch attack is meant to be designed as an additional chain to a combo, right? Like I said before, it's a way to kind of immediately attack a free card when you switch out your character for Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. And the thing is that there's no limitation to the switch attack. That's something that's really important to remember here, because a lot of times when a character does, some damage, say for example even a Bojack's special cover change, or Ultra Gohan Beast's auto counter against Rising Rushes, and ultimate moves. There's a limitation there, because while they do deal damage automatically, that specific attack can't actually KO the enemy. Whereas you compare that to Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, who actually has the ability to KO the enemy with a switch attack, which means that if the enemy is just like that close to being dead, and you run out of cards, you can easily switch into Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta and have him finish the job. And finally, we can't forget about meta compatibility. This is probably one of the biggest factors, I feel like, that is worth considering when we're talking about a character like Vegeta. This is some sick okay, it's a bit blurry here. Oh, here we go. Yes. Okay, this is beautiful. We gotta zoom in. Vegeta is a red character, and that's an important factor to consider here, because the meta currently is just filled with yellow characters. We have characters like Ultra Super Vegeta with his Platinum equipment, Super Saiyan Goku with his KO guard, and I guess you could include Majin Vegeta and Ultra Gohan Beast, though for Majin Vegeta specifically, I feel like this Vegeta definitely does a great job of replacing him altogether and essentially completely annihilating him with him being a red character. And especially considering that there aren't any strong blue units out here, who is there really to consider? MUI Goku? Really? Like, is that the best we have? Maybe even like King Cold, I guess? There's essentially no characters currently in the meta who can actually contest Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta's position, really challenge him, and even if someone rolled up, right? Someone popped up, like, let's say for example a Super Gogeta, right, out of the blue, his element isn't going to matter to Vegeta because of how much type neutrality he has. Not only does he currently have so many characters who have to essentially bow before him as a character who is naturally disadvantageous against him, he can easily defy the units who would normally be able to counter him naturally just through their element factor alone. And taking all of this into account, well, what's the takeaway? The simple truth behind what makes Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta so good. I think for Vegeta, he's got some of the best strengths of an offensive character taken to 11. I completely forgot to mention the fact that he also has new stats, and I'm pretty sure he also destroys 3 Dragon Balls with his main ability, which is insane. He's got so much healing, the whole new level of damage and defense, easy access to cover null and type neutrality. And for type neutrality specifically, easier access than we've ever seen for any other character in the game, in my opinion. A defensive buffer with his endurance plus buff cancel combination, and add on top of that his switch attack, which is obviously not only a new gimmick, but one that allows Vegeta to become his own offensive unit in a pretty unique way that we've never seen before. Combine all of that and put him in a meta environment that actually allows him to thrive, and Vegeta is propped up to become one of the best units in the game. But what do you think? Let me know in the comment section down below if you agree that Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta is the best unit in the game. If you want to check out my Metal Cooler breakdown from a while back, you can check out the video on your left. And if you want to see a character who I think has a lot of parallels to Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, you can check out the Kaioken Goku breakdown on your right. And yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this video. Bye, thanks for watching, never stay perfect, always get better. Peace. Oh, and thanks for waiting.